Okay, my friend Jake, I bought and enjoyed reading the Armor Building Formula. I have completed a few of the programs inside. Most recently completed the double kettlebell program with double 24 kettlebells, 24 kilo kettlebells. It went great. What value do you see in progressing to the 28 kilo kettlebells? How about the 32s eventually? Could you foresee diminishing returns with advancing to heavier and heavier bells with that program? I love kettlebells because I don't want to pay for a gym membership, and my home is quite small. And then the follow-up question, I'll answer these separately. What value do you see in the pistol squat? I can do them with my heel elevated, and I'm greasing the groove with that movement for fun, but I'm curious what you think here. Well, so I didn't invent it. Thomas DeLorme and John Atkins did. It's progressive resistance exercise. And Jake, of course, there's great value in going heavier on every program. The Armor Building Formula is kind of designed that, I usually recommend doing the double 20s. And when people say, what should I do next? I always say the double 24s. And if they find the double 24 is too easy, I generally say the double 28s, though, if all they have is 32s. Doing the double 32s for the Armor Building Formula is really good. It will cut into your ABC days because with that extra load, it's not incredibly huge, but it's enough. Those 32 start to add up, especially in the front squat. If you're doing it every minute on the minute style, that extra load, that extra 8 kilos is going to really kick in as time goes on. Actually, I guess doubles, it'll be 16, but you understand my point. I'm a huge believer in adding load. One quick small point, and just remember this, everybody. Progressive resistance exercise, the easy answer is always load. Just, if you're on a machine, you just add another plate. If you're working with a barbell, you slide more plates on. Pretty easy. But progression is also, it can be a lot of things. You can cut rest periods down. We call that density. Progression can be small changes in the exercise. And in Easy Strength Omni book, I teach you about wild, mild, and no variation. But progressive resistance, if you're bench pressing and you slide to the incline, you're going to notice changes. It's going to be a lot. You might see new, muscle gains, but you also might realize that, boy, you're freakishly weak in that position. Another way to progress up is to go to military press. From there, you can add your legs to push press and push jerk to split jerks. Progression. Then you can also make exercises more complex. You can go from the front squat and the remaining deadlift to the clean and the snatch or whatever you decide to do. So progressive resistance exercise is, the easy answer is add more load, but the other answer is to, change some other things. And you can play with volume, intensity, load, density, less rest periods, and complexity, which is really one of my favorite things to do with athletes, is you don't always have to keep adding load. You just make the exercises a little more complex. To the point is that you start moving to complexes, like the one I have my throwers, my women throwers use, remaining snatch grip, remaining deadlift, hang snatch, overhead squat, back squat, and we do that for sets of 8. And even though you haven't added a lot of load, you certainly add a lot of, let's just say a lot of heart beating and hard breathing. It's fun to watch. You ask an interesting question about diminishing returns as you go up. There is, and that is true. The only problem, Jake, is it's with the law of diminishing returns, so much of it depends on what you're trying to do. So if you're going to get certified in this organization and they expect you to do 25 pull-ups, okay? You got to be in this group, you got to do 25 pull-ups. Well, that's the standard. Now, 25 pull-ups might have no value to any of our listeners at all, but if the standard says 25, you have to do it. So But if you're not in that organization, you're not trying to get that certification or join that group, there's diminishing returns about chasing those 25 reps. And for most of my audience, it's middle-aged pull-up syndrome. Your elbows start to hurt. If you're, and I say this all the time, I use those Finnish jumper numbers, triple jump, long jump, pole vault, and high jump. And they expect their athletes to be able to snatch 290 kilo, clean 300, 135 kilos, and to squat, 180 or 400 pounds. These are triple jumpers. Well, my point is, if you're just trying to take care of you just want to look good for the beach. Actually, I think you'd look pretty good at the beach if you were a triple jumper who snatched 200 and clean 300. But for most of my audience, those numbers are great, but you don't need to do those. So that's always the issue with diminishing returns. It's very personal and very specific. In my books, I use the word "what's enough." Probably too much. I know I talked a lot about it in the Armor Building Formula, in the ABCs book. With the new book I'm writing, I know I really beat it to death there too. So one of the great questions, and Donna Summers asked it, enough is enough is enough is enough. I can't go on. I can't go on. So Jake, for every listener, you need to kind of determine what's enough. What waistline measurement is enough. Obviously, the research says half your body height should be your waistline, but under that, how far do you want to go? If you're going to be a power lifter, a Highland Games athlete, but you also want a 30-inch waistline, well, good luck on that. That's going to be hard to do. But if you want to look good on the beach, having a 70-inch waistline probably is too much. I hope that helped. I really do. Now, on the follow-up to pistols, Jake, here's what I've learned. Pistols are a lot like lunges. I still love Pavel's line about lunges. People who lunge don't need to lunge. People who can't lunge shouldn't lunge. I feel the same about pistols. The most natural pistol I'd ever seen, it was one of my high school kids. He was looking over at someone preparing for the CERT, the RKC2, and said, "What's that exercise?" And I said, "Well, we're working on a thing called a pistol." And the kid just dropped, and I swear, I'm going to exaggerate, did 5,000 pistols without any training. For people who have the Celtic hip, pistols are probably putting you into a total hip replacement faster than anything else I can think of. If you can pistol, you probably already can pistol. If you can't pistol, I'd have a bunch of drills I can show you, but what value are you going to get out of them? I remember reading online about 25 years ago, someone suggested for discus throwers to do pistols. I have never in my life, now maybe some do, but I have never seen in real time someone do pistols in their training as a discus thrower. It's not that I'm against pistols, but some of the exercises we do in training become more circus tricks than actual help. And I kind of feel that way a little bit, Jake, about the pistol. For our listeners, those who can do pistols are probably pretty comfortable doing them. Okay, I don't know if that helped, but that's my opinion. I'll stick by it. Thank you.